welcome again to another episode between Ryan and myself. I need to introduce myself because in the last time I never did. So my name is Alex Talopau and I'm coming in from Tauranga, New Zealand. And today you're seeing the same people that you may have seen in our first recording, our first video with Ryan, who's coming in from Perth, Australia. And Ryan he's originally a Kiwi, but he lives in Australia right now. But such is the world that we live in now, it doesn't matter where you're at. We are connected globally using technologies and the new ways that are available for us today. And my background is I'm an accountant, financial advisor, and as you can see in the background as well, you've got this logo and name ARBEZ, which is simply zebra spelled backwards. And the whole idea is we start with the end in mind. And that really means know exactly what you want, and then come back to where you're at and have a plan to get yourself to where you want it to go. And zebra is an animal that looks like a horse, but it's not. So if you throw a zebra amongst the horses and you ask anyone, can you spot the zebra? Of course you can, because it will stand out from the crowd. And that's the whole idea of the messages that we're wanting to bring to everyone today. Is it's a message that will stand out for everything that you have learned and known thus far. So today you will probably start to see Ryan and myself as the gold and silver men. This is what we talk about, and today we're going to add on to what we started talking about, the introduction of what Ryan has been up to in the last couple of years, and he will share more about the latest things that has happened to that, because we want this to be relatable. We want this to for the average person out there who's now going through inflation and starting to feel the impact of the rising prices and going down of the value of our dollar. And the same dollars that you're getting from your work is not able to buy the same things that you used to buy before. Our world has changed. Good news is there are other ways in which we can all get into and start something from the comfort of your home. So today, I have the pleasure of bringing the Sound Money man, Mr. Ryan, who will share with you what he feels is something that people really need to stop right now and take in and see if this is something that really makes sense to them today. And with that, Ryan, I want to pass the call over to you.
Oh, thank you, Alex. I suppose my beard's actually getting quite long, and because it is orange, I suppose I'm the leprechaun man at the end of the rainbow with the pot of gold at the moment. But no, thank you. It's a pleasure to be back on here. Had so much fun last time, so grateful to get an invite back on. So thank you so much. But yeah, like you say, I guess we are the gold and silver men, and I suppose I've been collecting and into gold and silver for nearly 2 years now. January will be 2 years, so nearly 2 years. And at the very start of that, 2 years ago, I knew nothing whatsoever about gold or silver. The person who told me about it, I just trusted him, and I, went full steam ahead and learned along the way. And I'm truly am grateful that I did do that and have learned so much about, I guess, the monetary system, fiat system, and truly am grateful that I have learned this. And I think what is exciting though is that I didn't know anything, and that I still got started. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know anything really, because gold and silver has, I guess, such a massive track record and has been around since the beginning of time. Like we said in the last episode, and we say all the time, it's God's money. It was here before us, it's here now, and it'll be here long after us. So that's what's exciting about gold and silver. And I'm even more excited because I'm going to share my screen, because I've been preaching about this for nearly 2 years now. But here we go, top assets by market cap. So we've said gold is number one, and gold is number one by a long, long way. $11.6 trillion is in the market cap for gold. Apple at 2.3 trillion. So nearly $9 trillion difference between one place and second place. It's almost like, I guess, running a marathon, and you lose by 10 miles and the second place comes second by 10 miles. Like, it's not even close. So that's number one there, gold. And last time silver was 7th a couple of weeks ago, and then last time we talked about it, it was up to 6, and now it's up to 5. So it's climbing, and we have been saying for a couple of years now that gold and silver. And I guess another thing that I want to highlight is not just the ranking where the money is going, is that, see, the country, gold and silver is not tied to any country whatsoever. Apple is a USA company, oil is Saudi Arabia, Microsoft's the USA. Gold and silver don't have a country, so they're not going to rely on politics or how well countries are doing or anything like that. It's purely, like we say, God's money. So I just wanted to share that in case like people are like me that don't know, I guess, anything about gold or silver, or maybe not even know anything about assets. But this is, I guess, exciting. It's exciting me to see silver finally climbing up, and I'm looking forward to it. I think, well, if I just need to stop sharing, I'll stop sharing that for now. I guess what's exciting about silver finally climbing up is that we have been slowly accumulating it for 2 years, and we have been telling people constantly, need to be buying gold and silver, need to be buying gold and silver. And I have had lots of people take action. I've had people not so much take action, and then a year later they see that I'm still doing it, and they're seeing the way the economy is turning and stuff, and they've come to me and they're like, man, I just need to buy gold and silver. So then they get into gold and silver. They love buying it, but they wish they started earlier. I've had that all the time where they go, man, I wish I started earlier. And the thing is, I always say, you're better to be a year or 2 years too early than a day too late. And the thing is, right now you're still not late. You're still not too late to be buying gold and silver. But there will be a day when you will be too late to be able to buy gold and silver. Your fiat currency is completely dying all the time. Gold and silver will be too expensive for you to buy if you don't take action soon, because we're seeing how governments work. They print more and more money, constantly printing, and they're just kicking the problem down the road, thinking, all right, if we print more money, that will fix the problem. But we've got to a point now where, the debt system is too high, and you can't just keep printing. You got to print more and more money to fix that problem that they used to. So back in 2007, 2008, when the GFC hit, what was it? I think America debt was like 9 trillion or 10 trillion or something along those lines. It's now $31 trillion. So we're talking in the space of what? An extra 14 years, it's tripled. It's tripled since then. So the issues aren't going away. They're only going to get worse. They're only going to magnify. And we've seen gold and silver has stood the test of time every single time. Like, it has never failed a financial reset, financial crash, a monetary reset, monetary crash. It has always survived. It's always outlasted fiat currency. And I guess that's why gold is probably number one by a long, long way, because the wealthy people understand this. They know the power of gold and silver, and they know what's happening to fiat currency. So I think, my personal opinion, everyone should be buying gold and silver. And yeah, it used to be pretty hard for the everyday person to be able to buy gold and silver, but now anyone can buy gold and silver. Especially these days. If you've only got $5 or $10 just to buy, or left over after paying all your bills or whatever it might be, then you can still buy gold and silver with just that. And it's about, I guess, accumulating habits slowly over time. Like, I started 2 years ago, had 0 gold or silver to my name, and I've slowly accumulated every single month. Some months I've bought, a couple extra ounces. I've had extra money to buy gold or silver, and I've done that. And now I've got a stack or portfolio that's grown quite substantially, and it's getting there. It's trust me, it's nowhere near as big as I want it to be. I definitely want it to get bigger, but it's way bigger than what it used to be. And it was just through slowly accumulating over time, creating habits, and that's what I'm excited about.
Wow. Hey, Ryan, I couldn't help but think of the ordinary person today. What you're saying and what you've just shared as well is truly another option that's now available that wasn't there before, or not many people knew about, or it was something that was that caused fear and uncertainty to a lot of people to get into. The only way that people know how to grow their money or invest their money is to put it into a savings account where it earns 1% or 2% interest with the bank. And now we know that the bank makes most of the monies from our money as well. And, but now we are saying gold and silver, anyone can get into gold and silver and use it as another option. If they've got cash that's stashed there, the fiat system is dying. It's even the value of the New Zealand dollar has gone down, something like 5 or 6 cents now. What used to be $1 is worth 6 cents right now. It's gone right down. The same as the US dollar as well. So with the inflation, people are just feeling the increase in prices. But what's really happening in the background is the value of our dollar has dropped, and it requires a lot more dollars to buy the same good that's there. It's not that it's cost a lot more for that to be produced. It's just that we just need a lot more dollars for that. And this is what's causing all of that. And now people have the option. Everyone can get into gold and silver. For us, you can start investing $20 into gold and silver. We know a software where we can use it. You can just buy any amount, even as little as $20. So this is, everyone can do it. But we are also talking about, as you share the screen as well, the number 1 and the number 5 assets in the whole world is what we're talking about here. And I didn't realize that it doesn't belong to any country. That was a good point that you pointed out. It's independent of any country or any politics at all. That is amazing. It's God's money. It's not anyone's money. It's God's money. Exactly. It was here when we arrived. It's still here while we're living, and it's going to be here by the time we're gone. So what we're talking about is a great way to actually build generational wealth for the next generation. If the last words you shared last time we had our first recording is, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, make sure a wealthy family comes from you. So that was something that hopefully stayed with a lot of people's minds then. Now we're talking about this. So that is really, really amazing that we can actually use gold and silver as a way to, and it's easy as well, isn't it, Ryan, for people to get started with this?
Super easy. Super easy to get started, super easy to purchase, and then super cool once you finally get it in your hand, because it's physical, it's tangible. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it. And the way they design stuff these days is it's art pieces. Like if you are into art and you're into paintings and rare paintings and stuff like that, you better have a lot of money to be able to buy those paintings in the first place. Whereas you can get these incredible that are just as good or just as beautiful as these paintings in a coin that's an asset as well. So it truly is remarkable. It truly is exciting, and I'm loving it, having an absolute field day. And I want to also touch on what you're saying about with the banking system. You put your money in the bank and you might get 1 or 2% if you're lucky, but inflation, what is it, 7-8% at the moment? Every time it's normally they say around 3%. It's normally a bit more, but they say 3% anyway. But if you're only getting 1 or 2%, you're not actually making any money whatsoever, because inflation's 3%, so you're losing. At the moment, it's 7 to 10%, so you're definitely losing. So leaving your money in the bank, you're automatically losing. You have 100% chance of losing your money. You don't even have a 10% chance of making more money, or you have 100% chance of losing your money due to inflation. Whereas if you're storing it in other assets, the number 1 and the number 5 asset in the world, you have a considerably higher chance of, you know, growing your wealth, or at the very least not losing it, you know. And that's, I guess that's what people need to understand. And it does come down to education. It does come down to education. And I didn't know anything like this, and I'm a high school teacher, so I know for a fact we do not teach this at school. We do not teach. We might briefly go over assets and stuff like that, but they don't talk about gold or silver. There's nowhere in the curriculum when they say, "Oh, explain gold or silver assets." They'll talk about savings. They'll talk about the share market. They'll talk about property. So they're the assets you're meant to tell kids. Majority of people can't even afford to get their own house, let alone a rental or any like investment property or anything like that. The share market's heavily manipulated, and then savings you're automatically losing. And the reason they tell you to do that is because, like you said, the banks, you put in $10, the bank's loaning out $9 of it straight away, just like that. So your $10, you've only got $1 in the bank because 9 of it's going out where they're trying to make more money off it. So it comes down to education, and we're not taught that in the schooling system, unfortunately. So it's going to come down to other people. And the thing is, we are in the information age right now. We talked about it last time. We are in the information age. There's information out there. You can get it. There's people talking about it. It's truly up to you as an individual to, 1, listen to the right people, 2, take action, and 3, you know, want to learn, because learning doesn't stop at high school. In fact, it should actually start once you finish high school. That's when learning. I've learned way more since I finished high school than when I was at high school. That's for sure. So it's exciting times. It is exciting times. There's definitely can be nervous or I guess people are afraid or unsure of uncertain times, but if you're in the right place, you're doing the right things, you're researching, it can be exciting times. There's lots of opportunity out there for people. So I'm excited, and hopefully everyone else can become excited as well.
Oh, I love that, Ryan. The summary of what you've just said as well is it's a really good way for a lot of our viewers to actually take this on board as well. Ryan is talking the walk, and he's walking the talk. He's not just sharing something he's learned and know, he's actually doing it. And this is the point of difference with what we're doing. We're just ordinary, average people who have found something that's good for everyone, and we know a lot of people will appreciate this. And our mission is to share what we have found and what we are doing with others. The worst thing that we can do is to get advice from someone who is not even doing what they are advising us on. It's like you're sick and you need to see a doctor, but you go and see a plumber. I used to grow. I mean, this is one of the things I can remember growing up as a kid, Ryan, is someone who was smoking, a parent smoking away and telling the kids, when you grow up, do not smoke. It's not and they are smoking. So, but this is the complete opposite of what we are doing tonight. We are talking exactly what you're walking. And this is the way of life now. And we just want to make sure that everyone is well aware. We are in the age, and it's time for us to actually look at other ways, but we need to be open-minded to do that. I'm not very tech savvy as well, Ryan, and that was the most scariest thing for me with the online world. But now I was open to learning new ways. You know, in the 21st century, the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who cannot read or write, but those who will not learn, unlearn, and relearn. There are new ways for us to do that. And I want to end this conversation today with this. What really blew my mind are the numbers that I heard of a real life story that's just happened this year. Someone started the collection of, coins, in 1986, and they would have spent $50,000 on the total collection to date to 2022. It's been 36 years. They would have spent an average of $115 a month for the last 36 years to just getting a coin. So now with this whole collection, they just recently sold it and it went for 24 million. I heard about people collecting stamps and I could never understand, how can you make money? Why do you want to collect that? But now with collectibles that we're talking about, gold and silver, now I have a much better understanding. But that's what's in it for a lot of people. That's 36 years of collection of these coins. Compare that to someone working 40 years of their life and then retiring broke, absolutely nothing. And these are the assets that they've been keeping and held on to for 36 years. Just recently sold this year, I think a couple of months ago, 24 million. I have not heard of anyone that I know who retired with 24 million, let alone $1 million. So that's something we want to leave with our viewers as well. And this is why collecting assets now, assets that we can all collect and afford, is another option for you to put your money into. Yeah, Brian?
I completely agree. And you said 40 years. I think you're being a bit generous, because if you start work at 20, your retiring age is going to be around 70 if you can retire. So that's 50 years. So that's add an extra 10 on there, and they're still not going to be getting 24 million. That's for sure. So 36 years, it's not that long. I'm 32 now, so 4 more years, that's going to be up to my life. And if I did that for 36 years and then pass that on to my children and stuff like that, I'm going to be very happy. They're going to be extremely happy. And it's not exactly hard physical labor. I'm not out there laying bricks or plumbing like we were talking about before. So yeah, it's fun, it's exciting, it's easy. Anyone can do it now. There's communities, there's people, like-minded people, and that's what we have lost, especially as a Western culture. We've lost that community touch, that family touch, that helping each other. Everyone wants to be wealthy. Everyone wants to be in the same place. At the end of the day, when you talk to everyone, they want to be in that same place, but they all want to do it on their own. They all want to do it on their own, and unfortunately, 99.9% of them don't ever make it because they want to do it on their own. And that's the problem, and that's the sad, I guess, reality of life at the moment and how people think. But the beauty of how people think is you can always change it. It comes down to your mindset. It comes down to like you said, you weren't very tech savvy at the start, and you were very scared about the online space. And now look at you. You know, you've learned skills, you've grown, you've become an incredible leader. I did my actually first live on Facebook the other day, and I was absolutely crapping myself. I was scared, and I've done a lot of Zooms. I do presentations. I've talked to people. That was fine because I'd done it before, but this was my first time doing it. I was scared, but I knew I just had to do it. I went out, did it, and I felt great afterwards. It probably wasn't the best. I don't know. I got some good feedback, but some people maybe it just been nice, but you just got to do it. You go out, do it, and you realize, oh, it's not actually that scary. It's not that bad. I can do this. I can grow, because like I said last time, we're not trees. We can change. We can grow as people. You know, you're not just planted in one spot and go, that's you for the rest of your life. So if you are thinking, what am I going to do? What is happening with my money? If you've got money in the savings account and it's just sitting there, why would you save something that the government can print? Because it's, like I said, it's just losing value constantly. So maybe you need to start thinking of other alternatives to put it in, you know, something that has the possibility, that has the chance of going up in value. That, like you said, in 50,000 spent over coins for 36 years turned into 24 million. I can guarantee you 1,000% you leave that in the bank, it's not going to be 24 million. And I'll give you 1,000 years. You can have 1,000 years and you still won't get there. So yeah. I mean, if something's not right, you know, then you need to make changes. And we're all here to help. Everyone's here to help. And, you know, like you said, we're living it. We're doing it. We're not just saying, oh, yeah, go do this. This is a good idea. We're saying this is a good idea because we're doing it. And, you know, this is the reasons why. So, yeah, I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, and our aim is to reach people like ourselves. And yeah, we are very like-minded in so many ways, Ryan. As you were talking as well, we're starting this, and it only requires us to take the first step, and then we'll get better and better. The only way is up from here. And you know what? Let me remind you as well, brother. We're going to be around until over 100 years old.
Exactly.
It's going to be a long time. So we're just sharing.
Imagine how big your coin stash is going to be then. You'll be like Donald Duck swimming in the thing, mate.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you for your time today, and thank you for sharing some of those secrets, sound money secrets as well with our audience. Thank you for coming onto the ARBEZ platform as well.
And no worries, thank you for having me.
Things. Yeah, and with that, we will leave it there for today, and we do definitely have another episode coming up because it's so good to talk about gold and silver and providing another option for everyone out there. And before we close up, I just want to give a disclaimer as well so that we're all clear. That was in no way at all considered financial advice. All we're doing is sharing our real life stories and with real people so that people can actually have another option to decide from. It was in no way intended to give any financial advice. And with that, enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. We are coming in from New Zealand and Australia, but that doesn't matter where we're at because we are living in a world where you can operate from pretty much anywhere. And with that, have a very good night, everyone. We'll see you.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you, Alex. See you.